Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, Happy New Year. We are officially in 2023. And in today's video, I want to talk about why we should all be bullish on Bitcoin in 2023 and on Ethereum as well. So, let's get started. Welcome. Hopefully, you guys had a good New Year's Eve, New Year's Day celebration, maybe a little too much drinking. But you know what? We're about to start a new year. Tomorrow, we're about to start a new week. So you can see Bitcoin still stuck where it's at. But 2022 has not been good, right? We know. Well, I should say was not good. Okay, because we're past 2022. We're finally past 2022. So past tense, 2022 was not good for Bitcoin. So 2023, are we going to see a change? Why should we expect Bitcoin to do anything different than what it did in 2022? Well, if you've been watching me and been paying attention, there's a lot of on-chain metrics, a lot of indicators, a lot of charts, a lot of models that indicate that 2023 is going to be better. And here's another one. Okay, so this is based on the 4-year cycle. And it's really simple. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. Okay, look at going back to the beginning and the 2 cycles that we had before and the current cycle that we're in right now. You can clearly see that because of the 4-year halving event, it definitely has an effect on Bitcoin. And whenever we have a big sudden pump, right, guess what follows? We have a negative year. Okay, we have a tremendous fall from the top, and then we have a recovery year. Then we have a year where we break through the previous high, and then we start over and we go up to the moon once again, right? And it happened in, you could see, 2013, 2014 had a horrible year. 2015 was a year of recovery. It started coming up from the bottom. And 2016, it broke through its previous high, right? And then 2017, we went on a crazy run, right? And you look at what happened in 2018, we had a pretty bad fall, right? 2019 was a recovery year. 2020 was a fantastic year, right? Breaking through its previous high. And 2021, we know, was also quite fantastic, right? So we just got done with 2022. We had a horrible year in 2022. But looking at Bitcoin's history, this always happens. When we form a new top, we come back down, right? But if history is going to repeat, or if history's, rhyming, okay, it doesn't always repeat, but rhyming, let's just put it that way, right? Then what is going to happen in 2023? Well, 2023 is going to be a recovery year. Doesn't mean that we're going to recover back up to previous high, but it is going to be a recovery year. And then in 2024 is when we do break through our previous high. And then 2025 is when we will go on that exponential run once again, right? So this is very easy to understand, very easy to follow, but I do believe this is still true. We have not invalidated this yet, right? If 2023, 2024 turns out to be differently, then yeah, a lot of these models will go away. But right now, Bitcoin is still doing what it has done in the past, still following the same trajectory. Obviously, in 2022, we had a lot of macro conditions that possibly made this 2, right, a little bit further down than we would have wanted, right, causing Bitcoin to fall a little bit further and, of course, causing a lot of collapses, right, from the bad actors. So yeah, you could argue that maybe that was a little bit more than what we wanted, but overall, Bitcoin is still on track. Now, why? Why do I think it's still on track? Why does it follow this 4-year thing? Well, this is the reason. And another reason why We should be bullish on Bitcoin in 2023, 2024, and especially in 2025 because Bitcoin's halving event is coming up in 2024, approximately March, April of 2024. Leading up to the halving event, we always have a recovery. And then after the halving event, we always have a new exponential run where we break through the previous high and we go much higher. But what causes phenomenon? Because the inflation rate of Bitcoin is being cut. Every 4 years, it gets cut in half. And after 2024, the amount of Bitcoins miners will receive per block is only down to 3. 3. We're talking about the whole world, right? The thousands of miners out there fighting for 3 Bitcoins per block. And that comes every 10 minutes. That's not a whole lot. And then even within the next, within our lifetime, or most of our lifetimes, you go in the next 12 years, it gets cut to 3, cut down to 1.5, and then eventually 0.78. Bitcoin is scarce, and it's going to get more scarce and more scarce and more scarce until there's basically none that is being produced. Okay, so this is the reason why Bitcoin does what it does. This 4-year cycle, right? Because of this. So definitely something that we should not ignore, right? And right now, all the models and trajectory of Bitcoin is still in play. So this is why I remain bullish on Bitcoin, right? Here's another example. If you're measuring just from the previous bottoms, okay? Again, 4 years. There's you can't ignore it. It's 4 years, right? But you look at a bottom, and then you look at a bottom, and you look at a bottom, you look at a bottom. It's been every 4 years. And guess where we are? At that 4th year mark from the last bottom in 2020, or 2018, I should say, right? So 4 years. There's definitely something to that. And look at this. Bitcoin supply, last active 10 plus years, that has been skyrocketing to the moon. Most of us have not held on Bitcoin for 10 years, okay? But those that have are now billionaires, and they continue to hodl. And if you go down to 7 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, okay, all skyrocketing in the same direction. Fantastic stuff. Now, what if we project, just for fun, what if we project past 2024? What if we go beyond 2024? Well, I think this guy laid it out pretty good. So, if Bitcoin continues its trajectory upwards and continues to get bigger and adopted, and it just keeps going, right? What can it become one day? Well, number one, it could become the new gold, digital gold, which will place it between 500,000 to $1 million each. Okay? Think about that. That is why it's important to reach at least 1 Bitcoin, because just by having 1 Bitcoin can make you a millionaire someday. Think about that. If it becomes a world reserve asset, okay, meaning it displaces like the USD, it could go up to 10 million each. 5 to 10 million each. And if it somehow becomes a world currency, it starts eating away at fiat everywhere around the world, well then, Bitcoin could possibly be up to $23 million each. Think about that. I don't know if we'll ever get to number 3. Number 1, I think that's a certainty. Okay. Now, for number 2, I don't know at that point. But I do think number 1 is a certainty, and that is okay. To get to $500 to $1 million each, and this is based on this this research from Blockware Solutions, and they break it down how right now, Bitcoin doesn't even register on the world of assets. Okay, and then over time, how Bitcoin could start eating away at gold, at base money, at equities, okay, at debt, real estate. And if it does all this, this is how big it becomes. And Bitcoin will become 22,814,092 per Bitcoin. Okay, per Bitcoin. So think about that. So maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in 4 years, but who knows, 30, 40, 50 years, this could be a reality. So think about that, my friends. All right, now outside of Bitcoin, let's talk about the second biggest crypto out there, Ethereum, right? There's a lot of FUD about Ethereum, but if you look beyond the FUD, there's still a lot of goodness to Ethereum, which is why I think it's also important to be bullish on Ethereum. So if you look at some of the stuff that's bullish on Ethereum, for example, let's say the developers. You could argue developers of any L1, of any chain is the most important, right? You don't want to see developers leave. For example, recently we've been seeing a lot of developers leave Solana. That's definitely affected the Solana's confidence level, because if you have the biggest developers leaving, well, that's no good, right? You look at Ethereum, Ethereum developers not only do not leave, they just keep on coming in. Ethereum is, EVM compatibility is the biggest thing that most chains are working on right now, right? Getting to EVM compatibility is a huge thing for most chains. It's not within the Ethereum ecosystem, right? But yeah, you could see the Ethereum developer stayed, and not only that, been growing by leaps and bounds, so that's positive. Vitalik has a very complicated roadmap, so there is definitely things that they're working towards. There's a lot of projects these days that seem like they have kind of topped out. You don't know what they're working on. You don't know what's next. That's not the case for Ethereum. They have a lot of stuff they're working on. Also, they did make the big move to proof of stake, which means that they are very, 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 I wouldn't say very deflationary, but much more so now than before. So you look at, since that change of proof of stake, the supply has only gone up about 5,000 ETH, okay, which is 0.013. As of right now, it's less inflationary than even Bitcoin. But had they not moved, you would have had 1.3 million ETH released, right? So very fact that there's very little Ethereum coming out, and times where it's actually deflationary definitely helps Ethereum in the long run. Also, of course, NFTs. NFTs exploded in 2021, 2022, right? And even with the downfall of 2022, you still have a ton of people making transactions, buying and selling NFTs, and that's not going to go away. And think about that. This is in 2022, in a bad year. Imagine during good years, what it's going to be like, right? Also, in terms of transactions per day, 21 billion transactions per day versus Bitcoin's 3 billion per day. Both are impressive, but one is just clearly much higher, right? So that goes to show you there are definitely a lot of transactions and usage that's still ongoing, right now. Number of addresses continue to go up, just like Bitcoin's, and number of validators, although some will argue Ethereum is less central or less decentralized now, that's actually not the case. The Ethereum validators have gone up, basically doubled within 2022. That shows you that they are actually more decentralized now than ever before. And the number of ETH that's still within the chain, right, continues to grow around 16 million ETH overall. So this is also good. It's all good. So Ethereum is definitely looking like it's going in the right direction. Despite all the FUD, it has a lot of goodness happening right now, right? So I also believe being bullish in Ethereum in 2023 is also a good thing. Overall, the main point of this stream is to be bullish everywhere. Even though 2022 was bad, if you look at the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin, it's actually going according to plan. We have not invalidated what has happened before, and we know Bitcoin will continue forward. and there will be nothing stopping Bitcoin, right? But not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others in the space, they continue to move forward, continue to draw in more developers, more dApps, and continue to grow. So these are all positive things. That's why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto in 2023 and 2024 and 2025 and beyond. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. All right, guys. Happy New Year to everyone. Let me see. Scrolling in here. Let's see here. Patrick asked about Sol. Sol, I got done mentioning. You know, when you have two of the biggest developers, you know, they were NFT developers, but Solana at this point, primarily driven by NFT volume. But when you have two of the biggest leaving, right, plus on top of all the FUD that came out of FTX, plus you have Alameda still holding enormous amount of not FTT, but Solana tokens, right? This is the reason why Solana isn't looking so good. Some mistake. Happy New Year. What is EVM? Ethereum Virtual Machine. That is what processes the smart contracts. All right, let's see here. Let's see. The U.S. will never let BTC become our currency. They will never be able to control it. They will come out with their own stable coin. It's just a matter of time. Then they can control it. I do agree with you. I do agree with you. All these governments around the world are trying to come out with their own CBDCs because they want control. It's no different than fiat that they're controlling, but they just want to make it digital so it makes it easier to control, right? So I do agree with you there. But there are a lot of countries that's also adopting Bitcoin because their fiat has collapsed and they don't actually know what to do, right? So we're starting to see that happen. Do I think Bitcoin will replace the USD someday? No. But as more banks around the world, more financial institutions start utilizing Bitcoin, utilizing blockchain, utilizing ledgers to process transactions, right? It's just a matter of time that adoption grows worldwide and makes Bitcoin and others into some kind of global settlement layer, global payment rail, global reserve currency, a secondary one, let's say, right? That's certainly possible. Excuse me. It's a little stuffy this morning. What's up with Robinhood? I don't know. Nothing's up with Robinhood. Not all L1s will make it to the next bull run. I would say almost all of them do. It's very hard to kill crypto. Even the ones that seem like they're dead, very hard to kill crypto. Crypto Stan, Happy New Year. Was ETH moving to proof of stake a mistake? No, I don't think so. I think this proves it. Had ETH not moved to proof of stake, there will be 1.3 million more ETH versus the 5,000 ETH. That's a big difference. That's a big, big difference between the two, right? So, yeah, I don't think so. Plus everything else I just showed about it having more validators, becoming more decentralized, and you still have the biggest development base. I mean, there's just a lot of still good things about Ethereum. Looking to build, Jolamas is asking, looking to build an Atom position, but I want to keep DCA into ETH and BTC. If I stick to 150 per week, is that enough to build a good position over time? I don't, you know, that's relative to you know, your financial situation. That could be great for some, not so great for some. Can't really answer that. But if you want to build a position, sure, why not? $25 out of 150, what, 15%? You know, roughly, something like that, right? Not bad. Not bad if you look at it that way. Flair, no thanks. No thanks. What are your thoughts on projects like Compound and Maker? Well, they're very different projects. I wouldn't call them OG projects. Maker, I never liked because they're just like a stablecoin producer. So Compound competes with Aave, which is in the, you know, decentralized space, decentralized lending slash DeFi space, right? They're DEXs that offer liquidity pools and a little bit of lending. I mean, they're okay. I think they're okay. Vincent, what happens if mining block rewards becomes too small as it goes away? Who runs the network? It's still going to be the nodes, Bitcoin nodes and Bitcoin miners. It's not going to go away for 100 plus years. So even though the amount they collect is very small, indicated here, even though you could see the block reward per block is very, very small, they'll still be very valuable because by then Bitcoin's price per sat, per Bitcoin is going to be much higher, right? So we don't have to worry about not having any block rewards until after 2140. So I don't think any of us will be around by then. Is there any way to get Cadena on Trust Wallet? Unfortunately not. One of the things that Trust Wallet or Cadena needs to work on is having more wallet support. But that would be fantastic if it happens. A good amount of people on Rumble today. Do you think governments will move against Cardano knowing no elites are involved? No, not quite sure why you think that. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Hey, everyone on Twitch. Got 10 viewers on Twitch. Dr. Seuss. Dutch Forest. Do you know if we could stake Wax from Ledger Wallet or it needs to be in Wax Wallet? I'm actually not sure about if you can do that from Ledger. Probably not. There's not a lot of coins you could stake directly from Ledger. Probably due to, you know, you probably have to do it in Wax's wallet. Will GRT get a bounce or has no potential left? No, GRT is very useful. It allows projects to create industry standard API. You know, a lot of tech companies use that standard, and allows them to create APIs for data retrieval, right? Which you could use Chainlink for. So it's very important. Now, you don't have to use them, but they kind of provide a framework that makes it easier. So I think they're very useful. Mad Dog, is it possible that BTC can add burning to it? If miners agree to this change, it'll be a big boost in price for Bitcoin. If the miners agree to something like that, yes, it is possible, but they will not agree. No one wants to change any of the fundamental things about Bitcoin, including its inflation rate, which you could see on the screen, to add in burning or I don't know, something else crazy, more Bitcoin, right? Or something like that, you know, no one would agree to. No one would agree to it. Is it theoretically possible? Yes. But is it going to happen? No. Someone asked about, do you think of Pi and ICP, Flash Gordon? I'm not a fan of either one. Never been a fan of ICP. Regardless of whether or not they were, I don't know, too overhyped. Maybe on purpose, not on purpose. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about it. I still don't like the way they operate. And Pi, same thing. Seems like there's a big push into like trying to pump that up recently. Not a fan. Why don't I mine, Alex? Because I'd rather put that money into Bitcoin instead. I just feel like that, if you calculate it, it's just more advantageous to just buy whatever you're trying to mine. And during the next bull run, you gain more from just having the token rather than having the equipment that's still mining, you know, the token. That's how I see it. Herb ST, Happy New Year to you as well. John Zor, same to you. Will XRP go higher in the first half in 2023? Well, that's the $1 million question. XRP, you know, still holding at number 6 within the top 10. So that's good. But until Ripple gets some kind of settlement with the SEC, they're probably not going to move much. They could still recover a little bit, of course. I do think the first half in 2023 could be good overall. I think that, you know, now that tax loss harvesting is over, and, you know, we're going to get more indication, or I guess more data, more economic data. In fact, I didn't show this, but this week we're going to get all this, right? As we get more economic data, and they're coming in still softer, but not weak. And as we get more information from the Fed in terms of what they're going to do with rate cuts, I mean, rate hike cuts, you know, the first 6 months, we could see a slow recovery, possibly not the same kind of sell-off, right, that we experienced, especially in December. We could see a slow recovery in the first half. And then I would say we see a more of a recovery in the second half. Tiberius, same to you. Appreciate your support, man. Let's have another great year. Do you think animal concerts is the future of entertainment? I have no idea what you're talking about, man. And Bolden Nelson. Yeah, you got to rewind a little bit. Which coin will get to number 3? I would say BNB has the best shot at this point. BNB. Litecoin will probably triple in value in the next 6 months before its halving event. No, it's not. Do you have any informational videos on XRP? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I actually do. And I would say, in my opinion, it's the most informative, most educational video on XRP ever created. And I'm the only one that has a copy. No one else has it. So I may show that at the end of this stream. Steven, no, it won't. No, it won't. I'll watch and see, but no, it won't. It's not going to triple in the next 6 months. Andy, any 2 cryptos that are under the radar that you like for 2023? No, I mean, it's things that I've covered before. I think most people overlook Cosmos. I do think Cosmos has a tremendous amount going for it, right? I think Phantom also is overlooked. They're relatively small, but they got Andre Cronin back, and he's a big DeFi guy. That could be big. And I think VeChain, I always think VeChain is overlooked too. At times, they just seem like they're very stagnant. There's nothing going on. But they're making a big push in the West right now. And making a big push into DeFi. So I think there's a lot that is undervalued. But I talk about them all the time. And you know what? Going with the big caps, you can't go wrong with it. Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, Polygon, right? I'm very big on Polygon. I think Polygon has so much going for it. In my opinion, Polygon's already like Ethereum 2.0 done. That's what Polygon is already. But yeah, even the meme coins like Doge. If Elon could pull a rabbit out of his hat, right, with Twitter, Doge will be better for it. Sheeb also up there. I mean, there's just a lot out there that, yeah, there's a lot out there that are great projects. Performance fuel injection. Yeah, I didn't do DCA last week because I was traveling, right? No worries. It will continue forward. Let's see. Do you think utility coins will survive this year? Well, yeah, everything will survive. I mean, you know, you look at the top. Okay, I'm just gonna stop at like top 100 here, right? Even top 100, it seems like a lot of these projects have fallen quite a lot, and they're very, very small, right? But if you look at the market cap, even at the 100th project, which is CeeLo, and they're in the payment sector, I mean, they're still 230 million. right? I remember when the overall market cap crashed to about 110 billion back in 2020. If you look at the top 100, I think it was like at 25 million, 30 million was the 100th biggest project in the space, right? So these projects are nowhere close of collapsing or going away. They are still absolutely huge. Regardless that, the market cap and the token price has gone down so much, there's still, most of these projects were around back in 2017, 2018. They've survived that. And if they've survived that, they could survive this, right? So you look at the overall market cap, still close to 800 billion. We're still 8x higher, approximately, than the low point of 2018. So we're still way higher as overall, way higher. Bitcoin was at 3,000 back in 2018 and even 2020, right? So most of these projects that you see, unless they do a rug pull or something bad, most of these projects will stay, and they will continue to stay and continue to develop and recover. Have I met Chris Larson? No, unfortunately, never had that privilege. Never met Chris Larson. Thoughts on Condena's future potential? No more thoughts at this time. It's the same as before. It just needs to grow. And it'll be just fine. Crypto Stan says, you promised you were never going to show that video again. Well, I mean, I feel like I have a duty to educate people on XRP. So many people love it, and it's the most educational video ever created. So, I kind of have to. Thoughts on Link versus Band? When it comes to oracles, there's no second place. I used to think Band had a shot to become second place in terms of oracles. No. Link is so big, and every other oracle is so small, they're not even being considered or used, honestly. Just go with Chainlink. Will you be joining an NFA show with Ben, Guy, and Rob? I don't even know what show that is. I honestly don't. So I don't know. All these other YouTubers, they don't include me in on a lot of stuff. So I have no idea what's going on. And that's okay. That's okay. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I know 2022 has been rough, but there's a lot of reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And I cover most of them today. But, yes, stay strong, my friends. We're in a new year. The bad year is behind us. Let's see what this year brings, right? So stay strong, my friends. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. I don't know if the stock market is open tomorrow. I'm not sure. If it is, I'll be streaming at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If not, I don't know what I'll be doing tomorrow. But regardless, I'll be streaming tomorrow. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. And since so many people requested it, take a look at this video.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.